And these two are two of the finest professional wrestlers to come out of the great country of Canada. We saw a little bit of that North Country respect. They almost reminiscent of Team Canada in their attire back at Against All Odds, but now once again find themselves on opposite sides of the ring.
Two of the very best to ever do it. Two TNA legends, and on that note, we'd like to take this time to acknowledge the late, great TNA Hall of Famer, Don West. Today, we celebrate the anniversary of his birthday, and especially Don was born right here in Chicago. It was in this building last October at Bound for Glory. His broadcast partner, the Professor, Mike Tenay, accepted their dual enshrinement into the TNA Hall of Fame tonight. This one is for Don.
We wouldn't be where we are if they didn't sit where they sat. Just like many in this business, just like what these two in the ring are doing for the generation that will come after them. Two of the finest wrestlers in the game today, putting it all out there.
Two men who main evented Slammiversary 2022 against each other. Battling then for Josh Alexander's TNA World Championship. At the time, it was Eric Young who was leading Violent by Design. They tore apart the ring that night. It was brutal.
I was gonna say, I'm glad you brought that up, because yeah, the last time these two fought for that gold, it got down and dirty and nasty. The ring was everywhere. The wood underneath was exposed. There was blood, there was mayhem. And don't tell me, I know Eric Young is a man who's constantly evolving, but don't tell me there's not a little bit of that left.
Back elbow there by Young. We're just getting started. Alexander versus Young. Who will qualify for a TNA World title shot at Slammiversary? This match continues. Picture in picture.
Now, look, right here, Alexander getting pinned. Quick kick out there. Eric Young here taking an early advantage in this qualifying matchup for the six-way elimination title match at Slammiversary.
Oh, shot right to the side of the head.
Alexander looks like he wants to respond here in kind. I talk about it all the time. You can shake hands, you can hug in the back, you can say your sorries before the bell, but once this match starts, especially given what's on the line.
Cover, shoulders down, and a kick out by Alexander.
All bets are off, considering what these two are both capable of. This could go any number of ways.
What a chance it would be for either of these two men to compete for the TNA World Championship in their home country of Canada. On top of that, our first time ever performing live on television in Montreal, Quebec, Canada at the famed Verdun Auditorium.
Ooh. Hope you've been studying your French, Hannafin.
Oui.
That's good. It's a hell of a start.
Learning a lot after the date we saw earlier on tonight between Steph Delander and PCO.
No kidding. Ooh.
Big right hand there by Eric Young. And listen, the experience, that edge goes to Eric Young.
No doubt about that.
Josh Alexander's no slouch, belly to back suplex.
You saw that one big right. That put Alexander on wobbly legs, headgear or not. This one has already tilted back and forth a couple of times.
Well, now stepping through, thinking about a sharpshooter perhaps. We talked about the Canadian roots between these two, and Alexander paying homage to the hitman here with a sharpshooter on Young.
And what a way to secure your ticket to Slammiversary. This would be a little bit of poetic justice.
And Young was trying to scramble to the bottom rope there to get away from the submission, but he's caught center of the ring. Paige brings a volley all over it.
That's a nasty place to be for EY there, who's got to use all his upper body strength to drag himself and the walking weapon. And
Young was trying to get to the bottom rope. Alexander holding on to this submission here. Oh, and finally, look at this. EY able to break out of it, trying to set up a submission of his own, going for his own sharpshooter. Look at this.
That was brilliant. You saw the way Eric Young picked the ankle there of Josh Alexander. Didn't see it coming.
And Alexander gets to the bottom rope, breaks up the sharpshooter.
Just another example of how evenly matched these world champion caliber athletes are as they compete for a spot in that title match at Slammiversary.
We are back here on TNA Impact. This is a road to Slammiversary qualifying matchup. It's Eric Young up against Josh Alexander. One of these two men will move on to the six-way elimination match for the TNA World Championship. We'll see on Saturday, July 20th, live on pay-per-view and TNA Plus at Slammiversary in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Moose must defend against 5 other competitors. These qualifying matches will play out over the next number of weeks, and it was curious earlier on tonight, Ray Wall, when this was announced by Santina Marella, Moose was smiling at the thought of a 6-way elimination match.
That is the level of confidence of the TNA World Champion. You heard him. He is unbeatable, and who could blame him for feeling that way as of late?
Alexander able to roll through. Oh, knee right to the back of the head. Young is down. Here's the cover. Shoulders pressed down and a kick out there by Young. Young and Alexander were tag team partners just this past weekend at Against All Odds. Their miscommunication down the stretch led to a victory for the ABC.
So now, if there was any frustration, they get to take it out here in a pathway to Slammiversary.
And now Josh Alexander, shades of the TNA Hall of Famer, Kurt Angle with the German suplexes. Oh, and Alexander blocked the lariat, kicking the arm.
EY with the counter!
Oh, dumped him with the Death Valley driver. Is it enough to move on to Slammiversary, and a kick out there by Alexander?
And EY, he's not wasting any time either. After that kick out, already scaling to the top rope.
Wow, rushed at Eric Young. Big right forearm there by Alexander. Puts Young on the apron, and look out.
Here goes Alexander. Flying right through Eric Young.
There's a reason they call him the standard of TNA wrestling. Josh Alexander has main evented the last 3 consecutive Bound for Glory events. That is only exceeded by Sting, the TNA Hall of Famer, who main evented 4 straight between 2006 and 2009. Off the top for a moonsault. Flashbacks to their battle at Slammiversary in 2022.
Josh Alexander pulling out all the stops to punch his ticket to Slammiversary.
Wow, now rushing at Eric Young.
Young more than willing to answer back. And look out!
Elbow drop! Young into the cover, hook to the inside leg. Oh, and a kick out by Alexander.
Yeah, we got to take another look at this, Tom. Watch EY all the way from the top rope, elbow to the heart of Josh Alexander, but the walking weapon stays in the game.
Young, who earlier this year challenged Moose for the TNA World Championship at Sacrifice in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, was dashed by Frankie Kazarian that night. And now he's going for a pile driver here on Josh Alexander.
That world title means so much to both these competitors, to both these guys here.
Oh, now Alexander going to the ankle lock on Young.
That's tied in now. The second major submission locked in, and look.
Oh, Young able to turn it around. Oh, going for the Young blood neck breaker, and he got it. But Alexander was getting back up to his feet, trying to follow up, and a pile driver by Young.
Is that it?
Is EY going to Slammiversary? Oh, and Alexander gets his foot on the bottom rope. The match continues. Take a look back here at the Young blood neck breaker deep into the bag of tricks there for Young, and then the pile driver, which few men have ever kicked out of against Eric Young. Josh Alexander, great ring awareness, getting his foot on the bottom rope, and the match continues.
You talk about people, technically Josh Alexander didn't kick out of it there. I mean, using whatever energy he had left to get his foot there, but that shows you also the amount of punishment the walking weapon has taken. Are you kidding me? Look.
Going all the way to the
what
top.
What the hell?
He's thinking about a pile driver from off the top turnbuckle.
Ooh.
Now Alexander ripping Young down to the canvas in the ankle lock.
Beautiful counter there by Josh Alexander. The awareness to turn on a dime and grasp the ankle again.
Oh, Young trying to catch Alexander, shoulders down, over to kick out with a walking weapon.
There's both these guys trying to catch each other off guard.
Huge discus clothesline by Young.
Alexander nearly going inside out there. Here we go again.
Think about another pile driver on that twice surgically repaired neck of Josh Alexander's. Oh, it's caught. Caught by Alexander in a forearm shiver.
Once again, snaps off a German suplex, and the walking weapon is fired up.
Now Alexander trying to end this thing. Going for the C4 spike. Cover. Alexander is going to Slammiversary.
Here's your winner, Josh Alexander.
The walking weapon finds himself one step closer to reclaiming the title that has meant everything to him.
Take a look back here at the conclusion of this matchup. Eric Young fired off some big-time shots in this, but it was the C4 spike by Alexander that sealed the deal. Josh Alexander joins the field for the six-way elimination match for the TNA World Championship, live on July 20th in Montreal at Slammiversary.
Two of the best to come out of Canada, two of the best to ever represent the letters TNA.